So I actually wanted to start standing today. So I thought, I know we often start with leg on the wall or doing some chest opening, but I want to do something from the practice method, which I'm also trained in, to help open the chest and release tension in the neck and shoulders. So that seems like it's generally popular and it's necessary for most of us. So we're just going to start taking your right hand and you can start tapping your left shoulder. And don't be afraid to really come up, right? So particularly as you go along the back of the scapula, you feel the shoulder blade behind you. And then there's a bridge that starts up kind of higher up by the neck and then it descends down to the diagonal. So that's the spine of the scapula while the neck muscles attach. So if you really press there, you're going to feel a lot of releasing the neck tension. And then we can also come along the collarbone. Your shoulder girdle really starts like here at the sternum, the breastbone. And then you can go up a little bit and to your left. And you can feel the collarbone. Maybe take your index finger like so, kind of curve around it and see how it curves. It's an S-curve shaped bone. And then it comes down and it comes up and it rests on top of your shoulder blade. There'll be a little bump up here. And then your shoulder blade hangs from the collarbone, which hangs from the sternum. And then from there, the arm hangs from the shoulder blade, the scapula. And then the lower arm, you can pull on it and kind of bounce it a little bit. That hangs from the upper arm, the humerus. And then the whole hand hangs from the two lower bones in the forearm. And then your fingers, of course, hang from the upper hand. So what we're going to do, and actually just standing, you should maybe feel like a little more relaxed on that side already. I can see it, like your shoulder has dropped on that side, and maybe it's fallen a little bit. Like one may be a little more forward than the other. This is changing position. So from here, tapping definitely helps release muscles. So you can tap along like the side of your neck, up by the ear, down the side of the neck, across the collarbone, across the scapula, down on the humerus, down the forearm, down the fingertips, and then rotate the arm and like go with the thumb up and all the way up to the shoulder blade, and back down into the thumb. And then you can turn it reverse so the pinky is up and the focus is out, and then tap pinky finger up to the shoulder, and that's down again. And then you can take the hand up, and you can do some. We're getting through all the instructions for the class today. I got stuck under the bridge by the railway, because they were moving that huge generator, so that was exciting. But still made it here with you. And then you can shake out the arm. Compare the feeling with that on the other side. Can you feel how this side of the work don't feel light, the other feels heavy and stiff? Just with that little bit. And it's dropped more on your left side. You probably see it on me, I can see it in you. And now we're just going to lean over like a little side bend. You can bend the knee on the side you're leaning towards. And then stroke your hand down from the little bone, the mastoid process right behind the ear. Stroking down the neck, over the shoulder, like your arms are squeegee and push into it, and then swish up the end, like you're just getting rid of all the filthy water, the debris that was on your windshield. And now you can rotate the arms. You're doing this along all aspects of the arm, front, back, and the two sides, and anywhere in between that you want. And you're still leaning over and letting this arm hang from the collarbone from your sternum. This is also very good just to move lift in your body so it doesn't get like stuck and stagnant. And these long, firm strokes are really helping it smooth out the arm and keep tension out of it as well. But you'll see it, you'll feel it. Now, still leaning over, shake out the hand like you're shaking out like a feather duster. Dust flies everywhere. We're getting rid of all the impurities in the arm, all the tension that's being held there. And then shake it, let it hang. Now, you're going to bring your right hand to the place where the collarbone meets the sternum, on that side, on the left side. And then take your fingertips on the flat bone of the sternum Try to leave the hand down here at your side, like you're reaching for the floor, and then slowly pull the sternum up to lift your body gradually, leaving the arm down. Maybe you feel a stretch in your neck. All right, now this will be fun. So now relax the arms. Check out the difference in the way it feels. You could maybe try to look at the other people in the room to kind of see which arm looks really good. And another way to test it on yourself is just to stand equal weight over the feet, bring the arms forward, and bring the hands in front of your midline. And the side that you released, can you see that the fingertips reach further than the other side? If you bend, you can really see it. Bend the elbows. And it's a little bit crazy. Yeah. And then release it down. And maybe just try like taking that left arm up towards the ceiling and then compare it to the right to feel the ease on one side of the body and the stiffness and resistance on the other. Okay. So hopefully you can feel that already. So we're just going to do the other side. So we started like taking, well, we're going to take your left hand now and tap the right shoulder and tap it pretty hard. So these are great because these are like simple things. You don't have to do a whole series. You use pieces of it. If you've got a minute, you know, and you're tense and tight, you know, it's a good conversation or you know, sitting at the computer, looking at bad news, you know, whatever. And trace, you start with the sternum here, your breastbone, and then let your left hand slide along the right collarbone. Feel the curve, how it leans forward, leans back, and then it comes up to rest on top. There's a little bony, it's like a little paddle that rests on top of the scapula, the shoulder blade here. And you might even like massage around that. And then you can feel the shoulder blade over that. You probably can't reach unless you get to the arm, you can feel like the tip of the blade underneath and behind you. But just sort of feel this and really tap around that ridge of the scapula. Touch. And then let's pull the shoulder up and down a bit and feel how you can feel how that moves the collarbone. But if you take your head to the collarbone, when you lift the shoulder, the collarbone moves up. When you lower it, it moves down. And so remember that the collarbone hangs from the sternum, the shoulder blade hangs from the collarbone, and now your upper arm, the femoral bone, your wrist, hangs from and at the side of your scapula. And then you've got two bones in the lower arm, the radius and ulna, and you can pull on those and then release them. You feel how they are just suspended here from the uterus. And then hold on to the palm of the hand, the back of the hand. And of course, that is hanging here from the forearm. And then your fingers hang from your hand, which hangs from forearm, which hangs from the upper arm, which hangs from the scapula, which hangs from the collarbone. All comes back in and support. Okay, good. So shake it out. Feel how much lighter it feels already. And now we're just going to stroke it. So we're going to use that squeegee motion, slide your hand down the side of your neck, over the shoulder, and whoosh all the way out. And give it a little flourish at the end as you flick the filthy water out of your arm. That's the metaphor for, of course, holding tension in your body. And remember, rotate the arms so you get different aspects of it. And also that means you get different aspects of the hand and the palm and back of the hand. And then shake it out a little bit. Just right feeling, let the dust fly. Shaking muscles is another way to relax them. Just like tapping them with the and then we are going to tap the arms. So we're going to cross the shoulder, tap it hard, and then let's go down on the top of the hand and back up again. And then rotate thumb up and go down to the thumb. And back up again. Pinky up. All the way down, all the way up. Lift the arm and tap around the armpit. And then go up the arm to clap. And down the arm. and then feel that. And as you look around, hopefully you're seeing that everyone's hands are about the same length again. That's good. Obviously, if you have one shoulder that's tighter than the other, you might do like right, left, right, or vice versa. But now let's say lift that arm you just tapped. See how much freer it feels than the last time you lifted it. And then just bounce the shoulders a little bit here. Good. So sometimes you can release and relax muscles when doing it. Yes, you can bring it forward. Thank you. And hopefully they now look like they're even the same height, whereas before the left hand was like a little bit forward than the right. Okay, great. So here, let's get back onto the ground. Do a little bit of work with the roller. We'll just start with it across your shoulders, across the scapula. And if you're wearing either your hair down or anything on, or the jewelry or scarf, you'll pull that up so it shows you that you're caught underneath the roller. And from here, let's lift the hips. And you can pull your knees forward as you pull across the shoulders. Let the head fall, and lift. As you push off your feet, go up into flexion, upper out curl. The knees go forward. You drag yourself forward. You drop your head into your hands, which is supporting the base of the skull. Elbows can go wide here. And then as you come up into flexion, you can pull the elbows closer together, widening the space between the scapula and the back of your body. And then as you pull these forward, it's up, upper back extension, let the fall back towards the ground, elbows wide and down. So more like this. You can feel the weight of your body and the movement massages out this upper back. And remember, we're only rolling on the rib cage. We don't want to go below that to where the kidneys are unprotected. And last from here. And then let's rotate and go to the left so I can see you all first. And then go up and down the lateral edge of that left blade. You're into the edge of your left lat muscle. And this could be a little tricky if you're tight. And then we'll twist to the right. And find the outer edge of that blade. Keeping that rotation using the oblique abdominals. Come back to center and lower your hips. Okay. And from here, just put the roller aside. We're going to do a different way to open the hip to really help with your core muscles. So you'll lay down onto your back. Knees are bent. Of course, use your core to go down. And if you feel like your head is falling backwards, you can always put a pad, fold a towel of some kind under your head so it feels like a comfortable position for the head in relationship to the rib cage. Now, let's bring the knees together, the edges of the feet together. And first, just do butterflies open or like frogs. So you're going to rotate the upper thighs externally to pull the knees wide. And you'll be on the edges of your feet, the outer edges of your feet. And then exhale, pull the knees together using the upper inner thigh muscles. Close the legs together, knees together, feet are grounded, edge to edge, arches of the feet, soles of the feet to the ground. And then we open. And exhale and close. So notice when you bring the knees apart, how the glutes start to knit together behind you. Like they pull together, they're getting a little closer, tighter in towards the sacrum and the SI joints. And then as you pull the knees up, you can feel the glutes spread and the muscles move away from the sacrum a little bit. They're lengthening down. So as you go out with the knees, the glutes contract. The muscle fibers slide into each other. And then as you pull the knees up, those muscle fibers lengthen, moving away from each other. So the fibers themselves are like two combs intertwined. When you open the knees and then the hands pull apart, like the two combs pull apart. And that's what happens with the muscle cells here, the protein fibers. So let's do that one more time. Open. The glutes are engaging. And then we close the knees and the glutes spread. Next, take the legs forward and open the feet about 5 inches, 6 inches or so. So that now we can rotate the legs internally, the knees and toes point in, and then externally, the knees and toes point out. And again, feel here now with the internal rotation, you widen away from your sacrum. And then when you externally rotate, you hit the glutes together, everything pulls in towards the midline. In the back of your body on the glutes. And it's the opposite in the front of the body. So when the glutes are spreading, the transverse abdominis is moving together. And then when you rotate the legs externally, you go spreading across the transverse abdominal muscle here, the deep ab, and the glutes are engaged. And just a couple of those. Hopefully feeling nice rotation, ease of movement here in the hip socket, as well as the working muscles around the hip joint. We'll do that one more time. So it's not necessarily enough just to do the motion. You also want to have your attention on that area and like focus on what you feel to get the best results. You'll get some results if you just do the action without linking it to your mind, to your focus, to your concentration. But you'll benefit more if you can really understand what's going on and feel it happen. So now from the external rotation, let's draw again, maybe one leg at a time, knees wide, and then pull the legs together. And then we're doing a knee fold, so pull the right knee up so that you have 90 degrees at the hip, at the knee, shin parallel to the ground. Exhale and bring the other leg up. And now zip the legs together, edges of the knees, edges of the feet. Now here's like a hinge. You open from the upper thigh to bring the knees and the feet apart. And then exhale to close. Let's do that again, open here. This is another great exercise for the piriformis muscle. All of these three were that we just did. That lies underneath the glute. And is one of the main muscles for rotating the femur on the hip joint. Let's pull this open. Exhale to pull it closed. And do one more. You should feel this in your low abs just because you're supporting the pelvis in a steady position against the weight of your legs. So these are too far forward, the back will arch, and that's not as good for your core, for your back. So let's exhale and lower the feet down. All right, good. Now let's pull the right knee into your right chest, and then the left knee into the left chest. Hug the knees in tight. And then here with one hand on each knee, stir the legs in circles away from each other, towards each other. So loosen up that hip socket inside the joint. The synovial fluid is actually getting warmer, more oil-like. See if I can say that. And that smooths up the surface on the bones for the movement to happen with ease. This is why they say, motion is a lotion, and if you have arthritis, they want you to move. So let's bring the knees back together and then reverse the circles. Around, in, and together. One breath for every circle that you're drawing in the air. All right. And now let's slide the left foot forward. Pull the right knee close to your chest. Get in. Pull that knee to the outside of the rib cage, reaching up with the top of the knee towards the right armpit. Left side of the body is still grounded. Pull the right knee across the body, keeping the hip down in the direction of your left armpit. It's not going to reach there. The movement's restricted, by the physical landmarks, the part of your body, through your abs, through the bony structure of the leg and the pelvis. They won't go very far, but you should feel a good stretch across the outer hip and where the IT band sort of begins, right at the top of the leg. And now taking your right hand again to the top of the knee, pull the knee out to the side so that the thigh is perpendicular to the torso. You can either push the leg down with your hand on top of the knee or support from underneath, whichever kind of feels better for you. But be sure that you keep the left side of the pelvis grounded. Then we're going to pick the knee up straight across the body to the other side. And get that rotation in the spine. The right arm can go out to the side, you can look at it. And here you're pulling down on the knee gently to get a bigger stretch, diving into the glute and into that sacral area. And you know, this is helping you open up your chest if you keep the right shoulder blade grounded. Pull the hip down to lift the knee up. Do a little massage across the lower back. And one more time, pull the right knee into your body, embrace it. Let's slide it forward and down. Shake it out and do the comparison. Notice what's different about the right side versus the left. Longer, more relaxed, more connected to the floor. Energy feels different. And now let's do the left. So you can pull the left knee in. Reach out through the sits bone on that side so you're not shortening your waist here. You can even take your left hand on the hip bone and push it away from your armpit. So keep a nice long waist on both sides of the body. And then we'll pull that left knee out to the side and up towards the left armpit, holding the right hip rounded. Don't let the body tip. We want to get the one into the core, into the abs here too. So this can be a nice stretch for your upper inner thigh. And then let's switch hands. The right hand holds the left knee. Reach again long through the sits bone. Pull the knee up and in on a diagonal towards the right armpit. So that stretch across the glute into the upper outer thigh here. And then release the leg. Left hand to left knee. We're taking that knee out to the side so that the thigh, the femur bone, is not perpendicular to your torso. Either have the foot up or you can rest the foot down, see what feels right for you. And then either push it down or support it from underneath. At the same time, almost think of rotating the right pelvic half away from that leg. So you get a bigger stretch across the upper inner thigh and across the front of the pelvis. Then you pull the leg up. You can switch hands. So now right hand on left knee. Extend the left arm out. And you spiral the hip. You can turn your head and look to the left if you wish. And then here, come back to center. Just pull that knee into your chest one more time. Left knee, left chest. And then release that leg forward. Take out both legs, give them a little wiggle, a little shake here, and then let them both relax. And now hopefully both legs are externally rotated to the same amount, equally relaxed, equally long. So that's good. So hopefully you feel better than when you walked in already because we released tension in the neck and the shoulder and then also tension in the hip and the lower back. So let's come up now to sitting. And we'll roll back. So sit upright on your sits bones. And then you can advance your legs over forward. Look down, pull the tail up, and imprint your spine one vertebra after the next to the ground. So as you go over the sacrum, the tail is still rising between your knees and up to the sky. Come all the way down to the tip of the scapula. And then let's pull one knee in, exhale the other one, squeeze the legs together. Palms are down, arms reach long along your sideline. Maybe extend the feet up and out. Pump the arms, inhaling and exhaling. But to firm up the inner line of the legs by pressing anything that touches in towards the opposite side. And the collarbones are wide. So you feel the chest a little bit broad, but really it's to help the blades drop down behind you. You're not punching the shoulders. So go long through the fingers away from your shoulders here. Actually, as we just discovered, right, that the hands are connected to the collarbones. So this movement is happening because the collarbones are rotating inside your chest. They rotate up to bring the hands up. They rotate down and under to bring the arms down. Do 2 more breaths. A long, deep, full breath in, and then a long, deep exhale out. And then fold your knees in, lay your head down. Good, and then you can stretch the legs forward and reach the arms up and back behind you. Feel that lengthen the abdominal wall, stretch into your lap, and then we're coming up. So you could, of course, use bare bands around your feet, lead with the arms, head, neck, and chest. Inhale to pull the wrists up. First one's always the hardest one. Dive over, letting your head fall as you look down between your knees and towards your belly. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs and your lower back, and then we're rolling back. So you could be holding on, you could have your hands side along your legs or along the mat, a little easier. Arms higher is more difficult. Choose the arm position that allows you to have perfect control of your body, rolling 1 inch of vertebra at a time into the ground, and then you stretch the arms behind you. We're coming up and over again. And of course, as we know, sometimes it's helpful to have ankle weights to help yourself come up. In a fully equipped Pilates studio, the mats are much heavier and they have straps to go across your ankles, because they don't really expect people to do this with the heels grounded until they get like a more intermediate level. And then reach it back, stretch long. We're doing it again. And notice we're not rushing through it, but you don't want to really pull yourself up and then come forward with momentum. You want to feel the work as you move. And then the same thing on the way back, you slow it down so that you can be aware of what's happening every second. You can change it if you need to. If you want to control it. And the Pilates called this contrology. It wasn't called Pilates till after a step. And we're coming up. Exhale one more time. So we resist momentum on the way up and forward. And then we resist gravity on the way back and down. The legs together, squeezing into each other will help you find more control through the lower abs. Y'all did great. Circle the arms around. And here we want to reach for the bear bend. This one is really organized. I need to pull it to my shoulder before I start the class, but so let's bring the right knee in and place the bend around the shoulder. Lift the foot up to the sky, anchor the elbows down and forward to move the shoulders away from your ears, and lift the leg high enough to go a good stretch in the back line of your leg. You can do a couple of point and flexes with the foot to feel how the calf muscle works and then stretches. And then end in a soft point, we circle the leg across the body, leaving the right hip down, exhale, pivot from the elbow, bring the leg out to the side and up to the ceiling. And reach again. It gets longer and longer with every repetition. I was expecting mine was going to go first, but yeah. See if you can feel that rotation of the thigh bone on the hip joint. Start with internal rotation, move to external rotation, come back to neutral at the top. We'll do one more here. Reaching out to lengthen the leg, come up to the top, and now reverse. Out to the right, forward and around. Oh, there's my roller almost. And take it over. Keep pressing up here. Do a beautiful circle or an oval in the air, actually. And then keep reaching further and further out into space. Take up more space in the room, create more space in your joints. We'll do one last one. All the way around and up to the top. And up here, we're taking both ends of the band in the right hand. Rotate the leg externally and take it out to the right. The left hip is grounded. And we can rock the leg a little bit towards the shoulder and away. So more stretch to the upper inner thighs, the adductors. Exhale to pull the leg up to the ceiling, switch hands at the top. Left hand supports the strap. And the leg, as you reach that leg out long, rotate it internally to increase the stretch sideways into the glute and the lower back. Then exhale, pull the hip down to lift the leg up. Do an extra little hamstring stretch here at the top. And then you can fold the knee in, embrace it in tight to your chest. Right, because after all that stretching, you want a little bit of compression. And then let's release that leg forward and down. And you have even more ease, more release, more length and openness in that leg than we did after the knee stirs and stretches. So here we go now with the left knee pulling in. First, embrace it in this tight. Reach out through your sits bone. Try not to hip hike on the left side. You can even swing your tailbone to the right to give you more length on that left side of your waist. And then we're coming up to place the center of the band on the ball of the arch. Lift the leg up to the sky. Elbows anchored down. Slide them forward so the shoulders ease away from your ears. Your neck is longer, more beautiful. And you lift the foot up. A couple of point flexes to ball heel, heel, ball toe. So you work the articulation of the foot and the stretch of the muscles in the back of the leg. And then we'll end with a soft point. Begin the circles here. Inhale across the body. And exhale, reach forward and around. Rotate externally. The hands follow the movement of the leg. And following the line of the bare bend. Elbows are your pivot point here on the mat. So stretch across, short inhale, long exhale. Keep breathing. Exhale, 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 exhale to the top of the movement. And do that again. Notice where you feel the stretch in your leg should happen like all around the leg, 360 degrees. And if you ever feel like a little bit like, I don't know, like crinkly or like the hip is popping a little bit, try really pushing out into the band to create more space for the movement here of the leg on the joint surface. I used to get like a little popping noise when I took this left leg out and around all the time. But once I started using the bare bend and got the feeling of lengthening, it stopped. So that happens a lot to other people too. So now here, let's reverse. The leg goes out to the left, an extra rotation, bring it low, across the body, reach up to the ceiling, feel that length, and then keep pressing out into space. And remember, I'm talking a lot about the mobility of the leg, but we want to equally think about the stability of the pelvic girdle. So the left side is pressing down as the leg is right and vice versa. The more you do that, the more you feel that opposition, the more you're going to feel your core engage and get stronger here in the center of your body. We'll do one more. Come all the way around and up to the sky. And then we let the left hand hold against the band. Leg goes out to the left, the right hip is grounded. If it isn't, take your hand to that hip, lift the left leg, and really press down into the right pelvic half. Then you can rock the left leg a little bit towards your shoulder and away. Exhale to bring the leg up high to the ceiling. Give it a little tug, a little extra stretch, and then fold the knee into your body. Bend to the side as you embrace the leg in. And then you release the left leg falling next to the right, and both legs shake out again. Release, release, relax. Perfect. And maybe you notice that the arch in your back has diminished a little bit. That's good. So here we're going to pull the right knee in, tip your head off the ground, look down your midline, and pull yourself forward and up for rolling the ball. Edges of the feet together, sit near the front third of your mat. And you can curl the tail up with your waist back. Lift your feet off the ground, elbows wide and forward to pull the blades apart on your back. Now we inhale, lift the tail, elbow back to your shoulder blades. Exhale, coming forward up to your balance point. So try to draw a straight line with your spine. Right, like your spine with a paintbrush, go up, right down the middle of the road, move your mat, and then right back up the set. Because you may find that your steering is almost always to one side or the other. So if you're steering to the right, it means that your left side is working a little too hard. Yeah. So then you would ask the right side to fight that. Let's get like 5% more action there. So go back and forward. Keep moving down at your navel, down at your abs. Let's do one more. And then we can sit back a little further and go into the ab series. So right hand to right ankle, left hand to the right knee. Stretch your rug back, Across your sacrum, you can lift the left leg up and push the right leg up into your hand. Pull the knee close to your chest, elbows wide and forward. Inhale, switch the legs, shoot out like pistons, going in and then out on their own track. Whenever you pull the leg in, you're pushing the shin up into your hands. The hands push down into the legs, so you feel more work in your arms, more work in your abs. And where you can put the work in your center, the easier it is for the neck. Let's end with the left leg in. Pull the right leg to meet it. Double leg stretch. Arms go up, legs go up. Circle wide with the arms, embrace the knees in. Pull them tight. So you reach out and away. Arms are apart, legs together. Circle, come into a ball. Now it's tricky not to look up at your feet. Try to look down into your abdominals. We do 2 more. Lengthen here. Exhale, circle and around. And one last one. And then release the head back. Feet are down. You can rock the knees in one direction, turning your head in the other. And I think today, I'll give you a little break. Let's take the roll it across under the hips for your scissors. I just feel like it's interesting to try different variations sometimes. We want to see if this gives you a little bit of a range of motion when you have the pelvis elevated. So you bridge up and you take that roller straight across underneath your sacrum, up at the ceiling. Typically no pad for the head, even if you're using one earlier. So as you inhale, bring one knee in, exhale, bring the other one in, lift both legs up to the sky. And here, the right leg goes back over your shoulder, the left leg reaches forward. So that stretch, you should get a little more hip opening. Here, so hips are elevated, and inhale to switch the legs. And exhale to switch again. Again, try to keep them in their own parallel path. As you track the legs straight out of the hip socket, the legs end up being about 4 inches apart. Reach out long without over pointing the feet. You want a relaxed foot, a high arch, and length across the top of the ankle here without gripping down with the toes. Good, we'll do one more set. And with the left leg up, and then let's exhale, bring the right leg up to meet it. And again, here we can do the double leg, lower lift. Just watch your range. Your back isn't supported, so you would just want to go out as far as you feel that your abs have the control, and then exhale, bring the legs up, bring them high, maybe bring them back far enough to feel the hamstrings lengthen. And then slide the feet across the ceiling and start to go down the arc, like you're tracing a rainbow from underneath. And then we bring your feet up the rainbow again. Go to the top and maybe a little bit down the other side. And reach again. Let's press into each other, whatever connects. It could be just the edges of your feet. It could be the edges of your knees. It could be both. Or maybe nothing connects and you could really benefit from taking a ball between your arches or your thighs here. Just one more time like this. Press it away. Exhale to lift it. Slow and steady, so that you can stay in control without getting accidentally into a problem here. So now fold the knees, exhale, lower the feet. We bridge up and slide the roller out. So here, let's roll up to sitting. And we'll use the TheraBand to do an oblique twist with your roll back. So heels are grounded, take the band around the ball of your foot. We're doing this instead of the fifth in the ab series, the elbow to knee, because this will also work the rotation for your spine. So you sit up, look straight ahead, and then rotate. I'm going to rotate to the left so I can see you for this first set. And the elbow's a little bit lifted, so when you go down, you don't land on it. And then we start with the pelvic curl. You're going down the left side of your spine. Come all the way down, maybe to the base of the ribs. And see why that's why my elbow's out to the side and up. So I didn't land on it hard. And then come up, dig your heels into the ground, come up, hold that rotation, sit all the way up centering, perch right on your sits bones, and now we twist to the right. So you tuck and go back here. Curve your spine down. You're going down on the leg muscle, it's about 2 inches to the right of your spine. You're down maybe just to the tip of the scapula, and then pull yourself up here. So use the arms, you're also going to use the core. Come all the way up, still in rotation, and then unwind. So, and then we twist to the left again. Going down like so. And then pull, you want to dig opposite heel into the ground to give you a little bit more support in this action. Come up and then again. Opposite side, I'm going to my right. The elbows a little lifted and wide so that I don't land on the way down. And pull up, hold that twist, hold that rotation, work your obliques. Center, and then if you want to try it out, the band, or do another set with the band, that's so fun too. But you can just bring the arms forward and then bend the elbow. So it's almost like you have a bow and out, right? You're going down. I'm no expert at that, but that's what it reminds me of. So we're coming down. And then we lift to come up. This will be harder. You come all the way up and then sit tall. And center and you go to the other side. Look down here. Further down. Lift, exhale, and pull yourself up. Good. And this would be easier if you had like weights in your hands too, because then more weight would be forward, that would be assisted. All right, wonderful. So now we're going into your seated spine stretch. So if you have tight hamstrings, elevate yourself up on yoga blocks. If you're home doing this, you know, yoga blocks, books work great too. So, or even I've had people do this like sitting on the first stair on their staircase. So like in front of you, if the hamstrings are tight, let the knees soften a little bit, lift, and then the arms come forward, the collarbones are wide. Press down into your arms, lift up through your halo and up through your chest, look down. And then dive the head out, over, down, curve your waist back. As you go forward, try not to hunch the shoulders. We don't like this, right? We're going to think the collarbones wide so the shoulders are melting behind you. Press down through your heels and your sits bones, and you lift your back. Bring it up down actually while behind you. The heart floats up, eyes on the horizon, and then look down. You tip head first, and you move to the neck. And then you move to the upper back, the mid back, and the low back sequentially. And then you press down with your hips with your legs, and you lift from your low back as every vertebra goes back into position. The one above it starts its move back, stacking them one by one. Let's go over again. It's a long exhale out. That'll help you really pull the navel into the spine as you dive forward. Let the head hang. We're just going to stay here. Hold onto your leg someplace or your foot, whatever kind of works for you. And then pull the waist back. Head falls. Tail curves up. Maybe even flex at the ankles. Get more stretch into the back of your legs. And then we're coming up for overly balanced and rocker. So you want to move forward so you have plenty of room to roll back. And easiest is hands behind the thighs. Otherwise, your hands go between your legs. Wrap your hands around the top of the ankles here, and then curl the tail up to roll back and balance on your sacrum. The right leg extends up, the right shoulder sinks down your back. Exhale to fold that neighbor, you heel connection together, and then the left leg extends. And exhale to pull it down. Now, as you're building length into your back line, your knee might not extend fully. That's all good. This is a process. And we have to undo the patterns we've built up over the years to find new opportunities for movement and new patterns in the body. So now both legs. Up. With this, I rotate my hands a little toward the outside of the leg and around behind it. And then I rotate my hands in so my elbows come inside the knees as a hold. And then you're taking the legs up and then hands rotate so the arms on the outside of the legs here. So a narrow V with bigger shoulders and then pull it back in. Because you're doing really well. Do this again one more time. Up. Let's hold it here. Pull the legs together and apart a couple of times. They help close the inner thighs, close the feet. Pull the outer thighs apart. And one more time like this. Now bring the legs together again. Bend the knees if you need to. We're going to lift the heads up. This is your full teaser position. So always a good idea to kind of practice a little bit. I know you feel it in your hip flexors, right? So hold on to the back of your thighs, bend your knees. And then we'll roll back down to the corkscrew. You can use the fair band around your feet if you want to do that there. So go all the way down. Stretch the arms long at your side. Try to move the shoulders away from the ears, elongate the neck. And then let's pull the left knee in. Exhale, pull the right knee in. If you're putting the band around the feet, do it now. And then we're going to extend the legs up to the ceiling. Legs are zipped together. So in this, we're drawing a circle on the sky. First to the right, keeping the left hip down. Exhale around. Over to the left, keeping the right pelvic half rounded. Come back up to center. And then we reverse. So the right hip is still heavy as the legs move to the left. Exhale forward, around. Left side rounded as you pull legs over to the right. Come back up to center. So traditionally, we're thinking of holding the pelvis stable here. As you circle the legs, the circles are reasonably small to keep the pelvis grounded and steady. So we usually say, like, you join a circle the size of a basketball, a volleyball, something like that, on the ceiling here. And you will feel a weight shift. So you get a little massage around your sacrum, around your SI joints when you do this. If you find that you're really rocking the hips, maybe make the circle smaller. Focus on your breath. Focus on dropping into the mat with the opposite side of your pelvis and the direction of the leg. We're going to end going from left to right. Keep reaching up with the feet and dropping down with the glutes. All right, and then fold the knees in, embrace it in. Lift your head, we're rolling forward and up, coming up to sitting croissant. And we open the legs, and again, if you were elevated for spine stretch, you're going to elevate again here now. So sit on your blocks, sit on whatever you have. Okay, so let's go a little wider than the spine stretch, make it to the outside of your mat. Arms reach out to the side, and your hands are a little in front of your sternum of your collarbones. Push lightly down with the armpits to go up with the chest and up through your halo. And then let's rotate to the right. So we'll bring the left arm across the body by rotating towards it. So I'm not bringing the arm across, holding the chest steady. You're looking to the right and you dive over. The back arm reaches up and back behind you. And ear to the knee, left ear to the right knee. And then pull yourself upright, center, unwind from your waist, from your rib cage, and we twist and dive over to the left. Right hand goes across and presses into the left leg. You pull that left shoulder up and back to get more rotation through the upper thoracic spine and into the neck. Come all the way up and center. That's often a good exercise to take your hands on top of your head. Pull your head up and try to push the hands to the ceiling in your vertical position here. And then you're going to melt down a little as you rotate to the right. To see that you're not really able to pull yourself around with the movement of your arms. And then you're diving over and down, keep that twist. Now hold the rotation as you lift up, and then go taller as you unwind to center. And then we spin to the left, move through your waistline, your rib cage, your spine, and then dipping over, the waist pulls back. So you're pulling your right ear to the left knee. It's not going to get there, because we're pulling up and back with the waist. Come upright, center. Did you feel that more in your waistline? Let's extend the arms out and do this again. So twist, lead with the head dive over and down. Lift to come up. Did I just repeat the same exercise? No, I didn't move to spine twist. So, and we're coming up, center here, and then let's lower the arms down. We're going to come up to standing for standing swan. So move your toes out of the way. Coming up. And what we're trying to avoid here is just bending back. So the swan's an extension exercise, which means that your spine is bending backwards generally. But what we don't want to do is just throw the belly forward and then throw the head back so that all the compression goes into the neck and into the low back. So what we're doing instead is you can bring your hands down onto the low abdominals, above the pubic bone, below the navel. Push your hands in, And then as you pull the flesh up, you're trying to stretch the front of your body away from your feet. Then you rotate the hands so the edges of the hands are in under your rib cage. Pick up the ribs one by one. Pick up your chest. Bring your hands to your sternum. Slide your hands up the sternum. Open the elbows as you slide your hands across the collarbones to the edge of your shoulder. Pull the elbows down, back, and in as you lift your eyes, as you lift the heart. And you should even lift the chin a little bit more. So let's stretch from your jaw all the way to the tail. And then exhale, release out of it. And as long as you didn't push the belly forward, you should just feel like very lifted and open here, and your back is fine. So we're trying to get the idea of like the body stay narrow and vertical until it's time to waterfall backwards. So let's do this again. So hands press in. You can be apart about 4 inches, so you have a nice stable base. Press into your flesh, start to pull, push in and pull up. So in your mind, you're lifting the navel about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That could be a slight exaggeration. Never picking up the base of the ribs. One by one, pick up the ribs until it's time to pick up the chest. Then slide your hands to your sternum, think the heart expanding and rising with the sun here in the morning. And then you pull your hands along the collarbones to the shoulders, go to the chest broader. Pull the elbows back together and down so that your blades slide together, squeezing the space between them. And then exhale, it's like you sit up the belly to bring yourself back to center. And you come back to a look at the horizon. Take a deep breath and see how free and easy that feels now that you've opened your chest. So there's other ways to open your chest than just doing stretches. Like this is a stretch, but we're focusing on very specific movement and the breath patterns to help like expand you from the inside out. So one more. Hands here. Pull in, let's lift up. I really like the image of the tube of toothpaste. So it squeezes you from the bottom up. And then you have that waterfall of the toothpaste going out the cap and down and back behind you. It waterfalls back to the ground by your heels. And then release yourself out. Okay, and maybe shake everything out. Okay, that's great. So now from here, I think we'll skip swan on the roller. We just did this beautiful swan standing. And let's lay down on your back for shoulder bridge. If hamstrings tend to cramp, it's a really good idea to put a ball or yoga block between your thighs. We're going to add a little knee extension here. So once you lay down, if you want to take the ball between your legs to hold the thighs steady, that's good. Or you just bring your hands onto your thighs so they don't move. Then we're going to keep the knees level, the thighs parallel, as you extend your right foot forward. The hips are down here, and just stretch the leg out. And then bend at the knee, slide that foot back in, parallel to the other one. And then we're shifting a little bit of the weight to the right side as you slide your left foot forward, extend the knee. And then bend the knee, slide the foot down, and slide it underneath. Good. Do one more set. So you just get that feeling of holding the upper leg steady as you extend the knee to lift the lower part of the leg. And then you bend at the knee to bring that lower leg and the foot down where they belong, where they started. And after the left one more time. And then bring them down. Now we're bridging up. We're doing it sequentially. So you begin with your pelvic curl, curl the tail up. Before the waist go down, pull the tail forward and up as the knees go out in the direction of your toes. There you are in your bridge. You're pushing down through your arms, down through your feet, and up with your glutes. So let's roll to the inner arms here, feel the blades widen your back and curve the upper back down. Kind of stretch it out. It's broadening and it's lengthening on its way back to the ground. As you go down to your waist, down to the sacrum, then lower the tail, you'll feel the pelvis rock and the arch of the spine reappear. Let's do that again. So you curl the tail forward and up, the waist presses into the ground. You pull back and down with your feet, drive the knees forward, drive the pelvis forward and up. At the top, you can even roll to the top of the shoulders, push them down, the outer arm, push that down. and lift your hips a little higher, lift your chest a little higher, get more work into the back of your body. Now stay here and slide your right foot forward, bring the foot out, slide the foot back, lower the heel, put a little more weight in the right side, but lift the left foot up. Slide your left foot forward, extend the knee, lower the foot. Throw off the pelvis in case the left side had dropped. Roll to the inner arms, work your spine down, curve your back into the mat. Come all the way down. That's a challenge, right? If you feel like that was hard and you dropped a lot, try adding the ball or the yoga block between your thighs. Let's do one more set of those with the leg extension. So start by curling the tail forward and up. You rock the pelvic girdle on the mat. You push off the ground, coming forward with the knees, pulling forward with the hips. Roll the shoulders down and back. Loose the hips a little higher, use more glute, lift the heart. Now we're going to start with the left leg. So put weight in the right foot, lift the left hip bone, extend the left leg out. Bend the knee, replace the foot, lower the heel down, lift the left hip if you've dropped it at all. Push up at the right glute, extend the right leg forward and out, straightening the knee, and then bending the knee, slide the foot under you. Level off the pelvis, and then work your spine down. We don't expect this to be perfect, particularly initially, but we want to see if we can keep improving that. And it's hard because when you take one foot off the ground, you're cantilevering your torso off the supported side. And that's tricky. That's a difficult concept and a difficult thing to do. All right, now we're just going up one more time for your bridge, and we're doing marching. So you curl the tail forward and up, push down for your legs, push up for your glutes. And then we're going to press with the arms a lot, pick up your right knee, keeping the knee bent, and then lower the foot down. Once it's down, square off the hips, pick up the left knee. Knee folds in the air. Lower the foot down, pick up the right leg. The foot goes down, you square off the pelvis to the sky, pick up the left knee. Lower that down, we do one more set, hips up, use the glutes, pick the right knee up, lower the foot with control. You don't want to drop it, you want to control it up and down. Send into your feet, lift your hips up, now roll to the inner arms, work your spine down, come all the way down. Easy rocking across the sacrum, massage it as you bring the tail down. And I do believe we're good for today. So you can pull one knee into your chest, the other one up to the ceiling. Lift your head, chin to chest, rock forward and up. How do you feel? Good, right? A little stretch, a little core work. Perfect for a gorgeous day. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you next week. Yes, I appreciate all your hard work.